Welcome back to a chilly Richmond, Virginia to Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed. We are into our quarterfinals. If you're just joining us, hello, hi, welcome. It's great to have you. Thank you for joining us as we look to crown another champion here this weekend. We've been through 2 quarterfinals. Let's take a look at our bracket here, Corey, and let the players know, let the people know at home how things have shaken out thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Christopher Larson and Eduardo Sajgalik into the semifinals to battle. That will assuredly be an entertaining match here a little bit later. But of course, we're going to see who is going to be in the bottom half of the semis here in a little bit.
Can't wait to see that semifinals matchup, but we do need to get through these other 2 quarterfinals, friends. So up next, it is Guglielmo Lupi on 5-color rhythm up against Toni Portolan playing Teamer Harmonizer, or Boring Harmonizer, as Team Sanctum all like to call it.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Let's take a look here first at Guglielmo's list. This list, or this archetype, has undergone several transformations. Tell us about this latest concoction.
Absolutely. So this is the deck of the tournament. This was a deck that was about 45% going in, different iterations, of course, and didn't necessarily have the greatest showing, but this deck is really teched out. You are a Cub deck that you have a bunch of toolboxes here to get yourself the W, and here most of the time you're trying to get Craterhoof Behemoth, but being able to get Superior Spider-Man or even Champion of the Weird, that's kind of the new addition that Team Handshake had. Really cool stuff.
And here we have Team Sanctum of All's latest brew, Teamer Harmonizer. It's a combo deck, of course, because why wouldn't they come up with anything else? What is this deck trying to do?
Combo for the sake of combo,
Absolutely.
That's for sure. So you're trying to warp a Harmonizer, then you can play a Fabled Passage, couple triggers on the stack to double the power. You go full bore, and all of a sudden you go up to 7 power, double that to 14, double that to 28, and attack and can win as early as turn 4. So a combo deck through and through, and it's looked really, really powerful, especially in the hands of Toni. Toni kind of makes everything look good, though, so far.
He's having one hell of a run.
So close to being Player of the Year. Last year was a couple matches away, and now it just continues his dominance, making the top 8 here at yet another Pro Tour.
Well, let's see what these players are feeling just ahead of this matchup. They both chatted to Cedric earlier.
I'm here with Guglielmo Lupi. How you feeling about your top 8 matchup?
I actually never played the matchup, but I got to do some research like yesterday and tonight, and I think I have good chances. I'm gonna play towards like what I think I should be doing, and hopefully it works.
Good luck. I'm joined by Toni Portolan. Toni, how you feeling about your top 8 matchup?
I feel pretty confident. I think we went like 10-1 against Cub in the Swiss part, so, and I'm on the play, so I should be good, but I'm playing against a great player, so I'm a bit worried about that, but hopefully it will pan out my way.
Toni, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, you know, it helps that Toni is also a great player, so this should be one hell of a quarterfinals, friends, so buckle up. Let's get into it. It is Guglielmo Lupi, 5-color rhythm up against Toni Portolan, Teamer Harmonizer. We are joining this quarterfinals. Both players are up a game apiece, so they have access to their sideboards. Now we're going into game 3.
It's going to be an exciting match between these two, and Toni and the rest of Toni's team doing extremely well in this matchup. So you got to like the chances there up top. But just like Toni was saying, Guillermo, a.k.a. Zampa, extremely talented players, just on an absolute heater. Tough to compare Toni's hot streak as well, but both players have been just dominating here in the later stages of last year and the early start of this year.
Well, as both players get set up here, we have our Llanowar Elves down. We do know that Toni took out Wistfulness, 2 Earthbender Ascension, 2 Spider Sense, brought in an Essence Scatter, Seer, and a Pyroclasm. Any thoughts there, Corey?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Bringing in the Pyroclasms here up against the Cub decks, that's exactly what it's all about. So I would think that is a huge advantage to Toni.
And then for Lupi, also known as Zampa online, he took out the Keynote Curator, 2 G-Gene Pollinators, 1 Superior Spider-Man, 1 Champion of the Weird, Explosive Prodigy, and 2 Seamrips. Brought in, geez, that's a lot, 1 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Shimmer Wild's Growth, 2 Ouroboros, 2 Okos, and 2 Spider Sense.
Yep, makes a lot of sense to me. Get it some of those silver bullets out that are less than exciting. The Champion, as cool as it is, same with the Prodigy, those are very much for different things, being able to kill Clarion Conquerors and stuff like that. So
yeah, Sweet little tool added to the toolbox here. Spider Sense going to counter that stock up. So now Guglielmo Lupi gets to untap with a Badger Mole Cub. And let's see where he can go from here.
We haven't seen it much this weekend, to be honest, on the feature match area, untapping with Badger Mole Cub, or just seeing Badger Mole Cub here in the feature match area. So great start, of course, but it did look like we had a mulligan here from both players.
Yeah,
as
both on 6, I think.
Zampa is very low on cards, but getting Ouroboros down and being able to crank up the power here looks excellent.
Again, this is another card we haven't seen very much of. You know, these decks started as an Ouroboros deck.
Yeah,
that is what it was called. Yeah,
yep.
You know, it had Jackal. It would try and make copies of it. There was a whole bunch of convoluted stuff going on. But players eventually said, you know what? We can do way more on turn 4. Why don't we just kill our opponents with a Craterhoof Behemoth, you know?
Exactly.
Turn 3, possible even.
Yeah, I think the first time I saw it was Spotlight Spider-Man, where we saw Kellen Pastor top 8 with that Simic deck in the field of Vivi. And then it really transformed after having a pretty poor result at the World Championship, and it is a much different deck now.
Yeah, so targeted. Then players came prepared for this weekend as well. You know, Lessons didn't have a great time. The top decks that everyone expected, well, you know, they weren't a secret anymore, so.
Yeah, it just really shows that, you know, over the last couple weeks here since the World Championship, every time the big deck has been targeted, it has fallen, you know, and that is just the pure sign of an incredibly healthy standard metagame. And it just shows that there's so many tools to answer decks and standards right now that if there's a deck that's dominating and you very much want to beat it, you can.
Yeah, I mean, how I wouldn't say how long, but it took a while for, like, the Airbending deck, for example, to find Interdimensional Webwatch.
Yeah.
That was there. It was face up.
Absolutely.
But there's still tools to be found. You know, perhaps other archetypes to unlock. It just takes a little bit of work.
Yeah, Kai Nelson taking down Spotlight, the Avatar in Atlanta with an Avatar themed deck.
Nice.
Well, being a huge Avatar fan was extremely special. But that was where the tech really came out at the first, the first place that I saw it.
Nice.
And since then, that very much changed the texture of the deck because, well, it was just a creature deck that all you had to do was just pack as much removal as possible. But now when you bring in a 4-mana artifact that gives you card advantage, there's not a lot of cards that both deal with creatures and interact with that. Abrade is basically the only thing, and Abrade numbers were very low. And, man, Toni is doing some serious math here.
Yeah, well, speaking of interacting with creatures and dealing damage, etc., are we not lining up for combo kill just yet?
So I think what Toni was doing is not math on, oh, can I kill you with Harmonizer type thing? It is a classic, can I take 2 with Steam Vents to probably just chart the course with Kicker here? And will I die to this attack here with Ouroboros giving 2 counters to everything? Looks like we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Well, Toni ran the numbers. That's why you run it a couple times because, well, there's no wiggle room whatsoever here, so.
Goodness me. I mean, he's lucky there wasn't like another land into play with a cub, because that would have just been lights out.
Yeah, you don't even need another land. You could just, do the very rare thing of earthbending onto
the land already there.
Yeah, the already bent land. But as it stands, Zampa was just like, okay, I just picked up second counterspell. Looks like I saw Disdainful Stroke and Spider Sense. I could attack Toni down to 1, or I could attack Toni down to close enough, you're dead next turn, in air quotes, and then hold up 2 counterspells. So I would think this is very likely going the way of Zampa here.
I do too. So a very reserved attack there, understanding that the way he loses is by being tapped out of blue mana.
Yeah.
And that Spider Sense can, prevent the triggers from either the landfall or from the creature, or whatever it is that he needs to do, or just counter full bore.
Yeah.
He's at 20, so he would be able to survive a hit from a hasty critter.
And I saw a last 4 tournaments here for Zampa. I mean, we know Toni a lot. We've seen a lot of Toni's results over the last years, but Zampa's last 4 tournaments, won the Mox, top 8 at an RC, took second at Spotlight Leon, and now top 8 of the Pro Tour here in Richmond, Virginia. Is that good?
He's cooking.
Yeah, absolutely. An incredible player.
You love to see it, man.
It's nice to see those players are extremely good start to have their results. So.
Disdainful Stroke says No, thank you.
Yep, so the warp is 3, but it is the mana value of
the spell, right?
4.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll count to the Harmonizer, and that is going to be game number 3 going to Zampa.
That was a big game, and honestly, Zampa's draw there, pretty average, you know, I would say. You know, just got the Cub here on turn 3. You were able to protect it with a spell, and then just one powerful creature, Ouroboros, going the distance.
Let's take a look at what the players sideboarded in and out. Toni took out for game number 4. Wistfulness, Earthbender Ascension, Spider Sense, brought in an Essence Scatter, Seer, and 3 Pyroclasms.
Yep, so looks to be no changes, essentially. Yeah, both players seem to have very much stayed the same.
Yeah.
Felt like not a very big play draw difference between this. Whenever you just have these type of decks, this kind of all-in combo deck versus this all-in kind of ramp deck, you don't see a lot of play draw differences, you know?
Gene Pollinator kicking things off here for Guglielmo Lupi. Toni Portolan on the other side of things. Fabled Passaging early, just to make sure he hits his land drops and can interact with what Guglielmo is going to be putting down on the board.
Yep, and I mean, we saw that this was Team Sanctum going, 15-1 against Rhythm deck, something gigantic. But, I mean, so far, being up 2 games, and last game, as far as the first one that we watched, it didn't look fantastic for Toni by any means.
Like, I know the Izzet Spelementals deck kind of were the winning team.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can't imagine that Team Sanctum weren't far behind them.
Yeah, I would tend to agree as well. But, yeah, the Spelementals team of the Boulder, they just put so many players requalified and got a lot of their goals here. Love this piece of interaction here, being able to put that enchantment on your land and then tap it with Gene Pollinator to get a little extra land.
Yeah.
You can do that kind of with, like, Unable to Scream on your opponent's creature.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like Gene Pollinator, you know, trying its best to be Llanowar Elf.
You can make mana out of anything.
Exactly,
right?
but when you have these kind of enchantments in these ways to you know, add any mana of any color, you're able to utilize it, and it's close enough to Llanowar. But right now,
better than Llanowar. It's got 2 toughness.
That is very, very good point. Zampa's hand is quite bad, though. It is 2 lands, Llanowar Elf, and Spider Sense. So
I think he needs some rhythm in his life, huh?
yeah, rhythm is just really the card. This deck looks so different with just 1 rhythm because, well, the 1 card, it's a 1-card combo in a sense because the first rhythm always gets Badger Molekup,
Yep.
and then the second one, you know, you're faced with 2 options, and both are usually great. Oh, I can count to 12, and I can put Behemoth into play and win the game, or dang it, I can't get quite that high. I get a Riddler, I get to refuel, and you get to go from there. Or, of course, the alternative is you get one of these Silver Bullet style of effects. You get a Bright Glass Gear Hulk. You can get a Lantern with that. Like, the utility of that card is just through the roof.
One of my favorite fetches with it is the Mockingbird, which, you know, can just copy whatever your opponent's got on the other side of things, too, which is pretty great.
My favorite is very similar to that. It's Gear Hulk to go get the Mockingbird.
Ah, yes, there you go. He's not playing any Mockingbirds in this list, though. Oh, no, there they are, 3.
Yeah.
They're hiding. They were being imposters somewhere else.
Looks like they are double-checking some interaction here.
I wonder what the question could be. If we find out, we'll be able to let you know.
Yeah, it looks like we were looking at the enchantment to be able to see if it can be strapped up to a starting town, which, yeah, I don't think that seems like a problem to me.
Well, it's any land, right?
Yeah, maybe just the interaction with Gene Pollinator. Toni was
okay.
making sure that you can tap that.
Sure.
And a
Oh,
Pyroclasm here is
no.
gigantic.
G-Genes, no.
The G-Genes are gone, and right
boy.
now, the one thing we're missing is any kind of pressure, and that looks like we just top-decked another Shimmer Wild Growth, so not bad. Do some ramping, and then you can hold up your Spider Sense.
It's a Llanowar Elves in the hand there, yeah?
That was the 4 cards that we had before. I thought we top-decked another Growth here, but maybe not. Might have just been another land.
Yeah, I think maybe she's got the 2 multiversal passages, the Llanowar Elves and the Spider Sense. So, yeah, Lupi needs some action quickly because, sure, having Spider Sense is great and all, but Tony's getting close to being able to combo off.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, we assume. We can't see the hands. We're not sure what he's got to work with here, but, you know, multiple parts of the combo
Yeah.
probably available for him.
And I think there is a couple spell snares here. I still do think that is the enchantment there I see in that third card. And if that is the case, with the starting town and the enchantment on blue, yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Multiversal passage naming island instead of forest, because if you were to play that enchantment, it gets spell snared and you have no access to blue and you don't have spider sense. That feels a lot worse, so yeah.
There you
we
go. Okay, you were right. I just didn't see it the second time he threw his hand out. Shimmerwild's growth now.
Now we can drop a Llanowar Elf as well, have Spider Sense, all fine and good, but once again, absolutely no pressure. Tony, we have been seeing it all weekend when this deck doesn't have the combo on the turn. It's like, well, you know what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be stock up, it's going to be consult the star charts, and I'm going to do that over and over and over until I have the I win button, Harmonizer, and and full bore.
Yep. Here's step 1, stock up. Spider Sense is no thank you because, as you mentioned, Tony's not really doing much else beyond that if he doesn't have it ready to go.
Big draw step. Do we have any kind of proactivity here? Quantum Riddler would be excellent. A Rhythm.
That's Riddler mana. Lovely. 2 cards drawn.
Huge. That could have been a multi-$1,000 Quantum Riddler here for Zampa, and that was Riddler into Riddler.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, so much power.
That is huge. So much cards. So if we're able, you play a land. That would have been 3 cards. Now the Riddler goes down to 2. How's 2 mana draw 3 going? But wow, it looks like we just
tapping out for it. I love it. Slam it. Let's go.
So 5 mana, 4/6 flyer, draw 3.
Holy moly, there was a rhythm.
There's a Rhythm.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
And now this is the classic. Am I dead?
Yep.
If not,
he's
I would
at 13.
think Tony is probably in a lot of trouble here.
Because what's it like at base? It's 28 power, right? So yeah, that's enough to kill him if Tony has it right now with a fetch land.
Yeah, and technically Tony's best possible draw would be Harmonizer, Fabled Passage, Sack, double full bore, and I mean the numbers. We would need Riley's math to be able to get the exact numbers on how big that creature would be.
I'll just say I'm glad Riley's a history teacher.
That's well said. That is well said.
Miss you, buddy. All right. Can Tony kill Guglielmo Lupi right now? He is tapped out, just a 4/6 body in the air, so at an effective 19, needs to get 20 points of damage over the finish line here to tie things up here at 2 games apiece.
So Harmonizer, full bore, and just 1 land. The math there is just 14. That would force the chump block with a Riddler. That just would not feel like enough. It's very clear with the pause, Tony does not have Harmonizer, full bore, as well as a Fabled Passage style land. Otherwise, the game would be over.
Yeah.
So now it's the what else can Tony do type of game. And I also see a certain 8-drop in Zombie's hand there as well.
Oh, hoof is early, huh?
Yep.
Technically late, but early. We don't ever want to see it in hand. We would love to just have it in the...
So that's 7. That's 7 mana with the Llanowar Elf. Untap land makes 8. Craterhoof Behemoth with Quantum Riddler, both of those getting +3/+3. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Not quite enough anyways, so we'll need a little bit more than that.
Bit more time.
Well.
No, Bossing Say. The only thing here from Tony activating this land.
Yikes.
Excuse me, earthbanding it. So, yeah, that is a yikes. We've seen that a couple times this weekend, and it hasn't gone well.
Yeah, and I mean, that land is incredible. It's a solid thing for Plan B, and, you know, you can always earthbend onto escape tunnels, Fabled Passage. That kind of interaction is awesome. But for here, it's a classic, I have nothing else I can do type moment.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get a peek at what's in hand here of Zampa. We have the Quantum Riddler number 2 off to the side, warped away.
Yeah, just imagine if that Riddler was instead just a land and Zampa was just going land go. That was just such a huge draw. Now all of a sudden Zampa has 5 cards in hand. A Riddler in the warp zone just shows that mulliganing, you know, dumping your hand on the table, that card is just so good at restocking you. So even just one can really reshape a game.
Certainly catches you up to where your opponent's at in the current state of things. Badger Mole Cub, hey, buddy.
Okay.
Ooh.
The math definitely changed with Badger Mole Cub if we now Crater Hoof. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we go untap land, that's hoof. You have to tap everything. You're still only attacking with Riddler and Behemoth, but now it's +5. So that's 10, 15, 19 damage. That would be an attack for 19, but also with the -2 from the land, it would only be 17. So still would have to do more than this. But one other thing we know that we saw in hand is a rhythm. So what does rhythm on Cub look like? You get another Fabled Passage, Temple Garden, and Multiversal Passage that adds 6. A land would make 7, and you would not be able to cast Crater Hoof. So I think that's the math that Zampa was just doing there as he pushed the Multiversal Passage forward, signifying that this is about to be airbent.
It's so funny how these two decks are basically like dancing around each other, being like, no, you go. No, no, you go.
Yes.
Please, after you. Who gets dead the quickest?
Yep.
Boy, I will say, though, it does look like Lupi's setting up for an explosive turn next turn, and Toni has got to have an answer for it somehow.
Yeah, this is... Everything feels like 1 mana short, 1 creature short from winning this turn, and I think that is the math that Zampa is double-checking. So much easier for us to do the math in the booth when we don't have the lights, the stress here in the feature match area. So now that is saying, okay, from Zampa's perspective, what do I do to make sure that you can't kill me when all I have is green cards in hand? And that's what it looked like there from Zampa. So this likely is going to pick a creature that has some utility to disrupt Toni.
Oh, okay. There's the Gear Hulk, Bright Glass Gear Hulk down at the bottom of the library. What's he going to go and fetch?
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I don't know if Bright Glass Gear Hulk really interacts with the combo in any way. Like a Soul Guide Lantern, that does nothing. Getting a Seam Rip, nope, that's non-land, so...
Maybe he's playing JD, right? Yeah.
So you
Got
could
a
get...
couple of those in there. Goes for the Gear Hulk.
You can get Melstrider's Resolve as one of the 1-drops. Insidious Fungus is a 1-drop. That also does... Yeah, every single one of these 1-drops that you can search up just seem like they have no utility.
Nice.
And looks like Zampa agrees because that's just 2 proactive elements.
Would you like 2 more Cubs? Or 2 Riddlers? Now it's just dealer's choice, right?
Yeah, could be 2 more islands, too. You could even just kind of ramp with them.
You can.
But either way you slice it, from what we've seen in hand from Zampa, this is him saying, I cannot win this turn, and it looks like I can't interact either. So it's like, Toni, you got 1 more chance. Otherwise, Zampa's for sure crater hoofing next turn, or at least trying to. And as long as there's not a disdainful stroke or something like that, be Zampa into the semis.
Tense moments here for both of these players. You can see Zampa's hands shaking a little bit just as he, excuse me, maneuvers all the pieces on the board. I don't think Toni is sitting all too calmly the other side either.
I don't know if I've ever seen Toni not be calm, though, for what it's worth.
He is very chill.
Very, very composed, that's for sure. And looks like that is 2 blue floating. Looks like that is now a flying island.
Nice. Here comes Gene Pollinator. That is so many creatures on the board now. Does he have blue interaction as well in hand?
Yeah, I don't think I saw Spider Sense. That would be the only thing, is turn a creature sideways, have Spider Sense. Is that a disdainful? That is a blue card.
Yeah. He's got a piece of interaction in hand. It might be a disdainful stroke.
Wow.
That can counter the Harmonizer.
It could if we left up 2 blue. If that was disdainful stroke and we didn't leave up the mana to cast it.
Well, there's an island. There's no other critter untapped,
yeah,
right?
the island doesn't add 2 or anything.
Gene is new.
Yeah, and Gene's new.
He can't do any tapping. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if that is indeed the card that we saw in hand.
Toni just pointing out, yes, there is an island.
Oh, that looks like a Mockingbird anyways, right?
Yeah, he had one
Yeah, so
Mockingbird.
that was the other blue card, not a disdainful stroke.
Okay.
So there is no interaction. This is Toni knowing it is time to go all in. And wow, okay, the Bright Glass Gearhulk was actually great interaction. First strike prevents... Oh, I guess when it goes full bore anyways, it has 6 toughness.
Yeah,
but yeah, there it is.
Going
Here is
for
the
it.
combo from Toni.
Yeah, and no way to stop it from Lupi's side of things. So Toni is going to pull this out of the bag here. Lupi was one turn away from hoofing him to death, but it looks like we're going to get tied up here, 2 games apiece.
Absolutely. We wouldn't have it any other way than a game 5 between these two absolutely phenomenal players.
Yeah, and not enough toughness to prevent what we... 14 to 28, yeah.
Yep. So the triggers are on the stack.
Yep.
So it's going to be exactly 28. You're going to attack, only 4 toughness to block, going to take 24 damage. You've heard of Pestermite and Splinter Twin? Well, let me introduce you to Harmonizer and Full Bore, the new Splinter Twin. Amazing.
Lovely. Man, Toni must have just been sitting there the whole time being like, okay, please don't keep up 2 blue, please don't keep up 2 blue, please don't keep up any interaction from me, otherwise I'm super dead next turn, and now we get a game 5.
And you got to think, I mean, there was one other option that Zampa could have done, and, well, there was a Warped Riddler. At least you can knock the top of the deck and just hope that maybe there was a disdainful stroke, something to interact, and instead you lose the game, and now you pick up a hand of 5 cards for game 5 for your Pro Tour life.
You know, but you know what? There are Quantum Riddlers in the deck, so you don't hate mulliganing as much with this 5-color rhythm deck as you would with something else. So
yeah, absolutely. It does help a little bit, but just attacking with Gene Pollinator.
Oh, no, that's not a good sign.
We've seen a couple one-landers from Zampa throughout the tournament. All right, this one's not one of them.
Phew. Preserving the life total, nothing to do on turn 2 there, so just attacking in for 1. Toni goes down to 19 to Guglielmo's 18.
Down to 5 cards, always brutal, but like you were saying, Riddler can definitely help out.
Let's see.
Toni playing the mountain first leads me to believe that there is some interaction here, but there's just absolutely no reason to kill Gene Pollinator yet. The 1 damage, chip shot damage, that is not really what it's all about. But right here, if we see a creature, this might be the time where Toni kills a Gene Pollinator so you don't get the mana.
Nice. Gene Pollinator taken care of, courtesy of Burst Lightning. Quantum Riddler will draw a couple cards here for Guglielmo Lupi, or just the one if his hand is still stocked up.
Stocked up is used loosely.
Well,
there
sure. If he has more than 1 card in hand, he will draw 1 card from Quantum Riddler.
I would assume it's probably still 2, based on not playing a lot of stuff, but yeah, up to 3 cards. So it did only draw 1 card, and it looks like we have 2 lands, Bright Glass Gearhulk.
Speaking of stock up, look at that, 2 Harmonizers.
Yeah, that was Harmonizers, Pyroclasm, stock up, 4th land. I mean, that stock up kind of had everything, so that looks like the type of stock up that is going to fill any kind of hole that Toni's hands needs.
Man, are we going to see a combo deck win this Pro Tour?
I mean, it's been a while since we've seen a combo deck in Standard Takedown. We've definitely seen some combo decks, you know, even our last Pro Tour.
I guess airbending kind of counts.
Yeah, even our last Pro Tour won by Mono Blue Belcher, but that's modern. You know, there's combo of aplenty in that format, but...
That's your format of choice, yeah.
I love them all. I love them all.
Good answer. See a formidable speaker in hand now for Guglielmo Lupi. Does he go to it straight away? Nope, it's going to be Bright Glass Gearhulk first and foremost while Toni's tapped out. Let's go get 2 1-mana options out of the deck. Looks like Mockingbird's going to be one of them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is just as far as the deck, there's no way that Zampa and the rest of Team Handshake were preparing against Team Harmonizer because it didn't exist. You know, so the silver bullets that they picked out and they were prepared for is Soul Guide Lantern, Seam Rip, Melstrider's Resolve, and Insidious Fungus. None of those interact with the combo in really any way, shape, or form. So, you know, you just have to get the proactive elements of Mockingbird, which is good. You know, no matter what, now you have 4 mana, 4/4 first strikers, basically until the end of the game. But that is just not going to be enough most of the time against the power of Toni's deck. And I mean, the game could literally be over right now with Harmonizer, Full Bore, and Fabled Passage. If Toni has the absolute dream start, which does not look like we do.
Yeah, because Harmonizer doubles the power. It doesn't affect the toughness, but Full Bore affects the toughness. So it
Exactly.
becomes 6 toughness.
So, yeah,
So if he has multiple first strikers, then yes, he
Bingo.
can prevent himself from being dead.
Bingo. But
But
then
they
you,
need to survive.
then you are just holding back your 8 power as well.
Yeah.
And then at any point, if Toni just goes like, all right, end step sear one of them, untap combo,
Ruh-roh. Yeah.
then it's time.
Alrighty. Untitled Explorer hits the board. We're going to mill some cards, get some extra land drops. Just a nice little,
Nice little value play.
yeah, little value play. Another piece of the engine.
And this is a card that we've seen a lot in the landfall decks, you know,
Mm-hmm.
trying to combo there with Harmonizer as well.
Yeah.
So Ice Till and Harmonizer finding their way into another shell is really cool because this card is just incredible.
Yeah.
Making splashes in other formats as well
Yeah.
as standard.
Making some birds get enormous as well in the mono green decks.
Yeah.
And little chocobos. Alrighty. Multiversal Passage now from Zampa. Takes 2. 19 to 18 are the life totals for those of you keeping track.
A swamp. Interesting. There is 2 cards that utilize black mana here, and it is the Champion of the Weird, which we know was sided out, Superior Spider-Man, which was not.
Yeah. So that can go and get some things back from the yard if it is killed. Looks like we're just checking land and damage taken from those lands.
Yep.
He took 2 off of the first land he played. The second shot came in tapped. So yeah, would be down to 16 then if he played that untapped. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but that would make sense to me.
Yeah, he didn't have anything else to do on turn 2, so it was just a tap Temple Garden.
Yep, that's right. So now just getting some accelerants here. Mockingbird for another Gear Hulk. And now, you know, we do have that first strike wall completely blocked up here for the combo itself. But now we'll see if Zampa wants to just play that game, right? Of just saying, all right, I'm not going to, you know, try to get aggressive or proactive and just hold back these Gear Hulks. And it looks like Melstrider's Resolve is not in the deck because this is the one time when this Mockingbird to get a fight spell here for Ice Till Explorer would have looked great.
Yeah.
So not searching that up and playing a Llanowar Elf instead is 100% saying, I don't have that in my deck.
Yeah, he didn't bring that in. There's one in the sideboard, but
Yep.
not sided in.
Would have been great here, that's for sure.
yeah.
But in most other situations, not good. Because Toni doesn't really play a creature until he wins the game.
Another mill trigger here.
Okay.
Spell snare in the yard. Draw. Is it go time? Can we remove one of these blockers and combo off?
Oh my! So we need Seer plus Full Bore here to get through.
I have it into the first strike one.
Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Toni has a way to remove one of the Bright Glass Gear Hulks to be able to push through the damage necessary to get Guglielmo Lupi dead. Congratulations, Toni Portolan, Teamer Harmonizer, 3 and 2 in the quarterfinals.
Wow, what an incredible
Incredible
match
stuff.
there. Even the last game, which looked very, very close for Zampa to be able to
Wow.
pick that one up, just needed one more piece of interaction. And Zampa was on his way to the semifinals.
Yeah.
Toni was able to clutch up. Zampa didn't find
So
it
cool.
and wins 2 games to put himself into another semifinals. Incredible.
Congratulations, Toni. You are on a streak, my friend. We got to chat to him after his match, so let's go and hear what he had to say.
Toni Portolan, a huge win in the quarterfinals. 5-game match. Tell us about what was a pretty lengthy and fun back and forth.
Yeah, so we split pre-cyber games. It went as anticipated. I drew a bit of blank in game 1, so they won. And then in the post-board games, they have some counter spells, some interactions. And basically game 3, they drew 2 of the 3 interaction spells and they got me. And then game 4 and 5, I managed to squeeze a win. Yeah, they were a bit unfortunate. Game 5, they mulliganed the 5. But I think that they weren't prepared for the matchup, so yeah, they were goldfishing a good hand.
And that seems kind of true about most people that you've played against with your deck. Your deck is really taking people by surprise this weekend.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. However, my next matchup has some interactions, so it will be a much tougher matchup than the one in the quarterfinals.
Well, we are looking forward to watching you play in the semifinals. Good luck, Tony.
Thank you.